Hello and welcome to the garden. It's a wonderful sunny day today, and actually it's really bright here in the greenhouse, and that's because I've given the windows a little bit of a wipe. By no means perfect, but a lot brighter than it was yesterday. Anyway, I've had a little package arrive. This should be strawberry runners. I don't like them arriving in jiffy bags. It's not enough protection for plants. It's got a label on the front that says live plants, please handle with care, in very small print, like the postman's going to read that, or like anybody in a warehouse is going to care. So yeah, that's a little bit annoying. I don't think that is enough protection for plants, but anyway, I'm sure they'll be fine. So as usual, I am not ready for these. I am going to put them in one of the cold frames. That's still got plants in, so these can't go in there yet. So I need to just take them out of the packaging and put them somewhere temporarily where they will be perfectly fine, and then I can move them into the cold frame in, well, I don't know when that'll be, a week or two, hopefully, maybe a little bit longer. I want to eat those plants first, and then I can clear the frame. Anyway, let's take a look, see what I've got. So we haven't cleared this greenhouse yet. We've still got some lettuce plants in that haven't run to seed quite yet. So I can put them in the corner here somewhere and they're not going to cause any trouble. So these are my favourite strawberries, or they should be. Well, the label says that these are Gariguettes, and I hope they are. I wasn't 100% convinced by the last set of Gariguettes that I got. I don't think they were typical of the type, so I don't know. Hopefully these are more typical. Well, they're not bad. I mean, they're not the biggest runners I've seen, but they don't look bad at all. And it's nice that the roots are a little bit damp, so that's a good sign. So Gariguette is my favourite strawberry, and it's a little tricky to get now. Well, that isn't fine. I mean, that's that's a shockingly bad runner. Dear oh dear. What have we got in here? Actually, these are a bit rubbish. Okay, that one's all right. Yeah, that one's all right. That one's not great. That's okay. Oh, I've seen much better runners than these. That's a bit pants. Dear oh dear. Nah, these have got a fraction of the root that they should have. That's not a bad runner. Some nice fibrous root there. That one would be. That's what I think is acceptable. That is junk, and these are they're a bit rubbish. So, oh dear, oh dear. Anyway, with a bit of luck, they will grow. So I'm just going to pop them in here temporarily. Well, I don't need to dig too deep a hole, do I? Not for these. Right, that's fine. And as usual, they want to be planted with the crowns just above the soil there, so just with the top of those roots just below the soil, but leaving the crown poking out the top. And I can drop them in here where they will be quite happy. I'll give them a good soak in a moment, make sure those roots stay nice and hydrated, dear oh dear, such as they are. They're not going to be here too long. Oh, I'm unimpressed with these. That's dreadful. I was just counting these just to see whether that's a spare. Well, it looks like I might have one more than I ordered, so maybe that one is a spare. I hope so, because it's shockingly bad. Right. Yeah, that's it. They're all planted at the right depth. Now they just need a soak. So that job is done and they will be fine in there. Now, if your runners happen to arrive with pretty dry looking root systems on, it's probably worth giving them a soak in a pot of water for an hour or two before either putting them somewhere temporary or planting them up, ideally in their proper place. The alternative to this would have been to pot them up, but I hope I can get that cold frame sorted out in the next week or two, so potting them up is a little bit unnecessary. I think they should be perfectly fine there. The roots won't dry out, and that is the main thing at this stage. I've put them in the greenhouse, so they're not going to experience shockingly cold conditions, although it doesn't appear to be that cold at the moment. Well, I do hope that those really are Gariguettes this time, because I'm very doubtful that the last bunch I ordered were Gariguettes. The Gariguette has a very distinctive shape. The stalk sits quite high up on the fruit on these little shoulders, and then it's quite conical or chisel shaped, quite a long slender fruit, very distinctive. So you can tell if it's a Gariguette or not. It's got a shape that's slightly different from lots of the other strawberries that are available now. So we should be able to find out later in the summer whether this is likely to be the right variety. I hope so. It's a wonderful little variety. One little curiosity, if you look online, do a bit of research about the Gariguette, you will often see it suggested that it's a variety from the 1930s. And I really wish it was, because I love old varieties. Well, I suppose it's still fairly old now. It's not from the 1930s at all, despite the number of websites that have 1930s mentioned. It's from the 70s, 1970s. We know where and we know by whom. We know its siblings and its parents in the breeding program. We know everything about this strawberry, but for some reason, tons of websites have picked up on the idea that this is a really old variety from the 1930s. It was raised in Provence, and I think the lady who was breeding these strawberries, Georgette Risser, we know all of that. It's definitely not from the 30s. I don't know where that notion came up from, but it's really funny with gardening in particular. One place puts out a piece of information and it just spreads out, and nobody checks whether it's actually true or not. I'm probably guilty of spreading misinformation myself, not knowingly, obviously. I like to do my research, but anyway, yes, southern France, this strawberry was raised there, and it is wonderful. If you get the chance, highly recommend it. Maybe it doesn't yield quite as much, of course, as one of the more modern varieties. They're always chasing big fruits and high yields, but I'm chasing something interesting and delicious. So anyway, Gariguettes, love them. Anyway, that is all for this video. Thanks ever so much for watching, and bye for now.